Hello and welcome back. If you're new here, welcome for the first time. Hey, we are gonna talk about some DIYs that I've been doing over the years. I've been in this business for 10 years and I've been pumping out the DIY tutorials the whole time, and I regularly get questions from people either on the blog or on the YouTube channel about how things are holding up. And I want to go through 10 of the top DIYs that we have done on this channel and in this community, and follow up on how they're going, what I feel like did really well, what I would do a little bit different, and just share with you my thoughts, just give you some reviews now that they've been time tested. And I'm gonna end with the most common one I get asked about. We'll save that one till the end. Okay, let's look at number one. Well, we were so excited to get our frame TV when we finally upgraded, but the price of the frame itself was a little bit daunting. These frames are $500, $600. I think the TV was $700. And so almost doubling that price by buying the actual frame was a little disappointing. So we decided to DIY our own. We just got some cheap pine boards, some 1x2s, didn't even miter the corners. We just did simple butt joint and did get some trim, some pretty little beadwork trim. But first we painted it with an oil rubbed bronze and rub and buff. Then added a couple of L brackets on the top and hung it over the top of the TV. Now, I had pictured that the frame would go all the way flush against the wall, and we ended up not being able to do that because there's a sensor underneath the TV that has to remain uncovered by the wood itself so that you can use the remote. So that's the only thing that was a little bit different than I expected, but all in all, I adore this project. I would give it a 10 out of 10. Didn't you love that frame TV? I can't believe how much money we saved on that. I love finding things like that, trendy ideas, but then I figure out how to DIY them. If you want to just dive into this whole world of DIY, I suggest joining Craftsy. Now, Craftsy is sponsoring today's video, and that is just perfect in my mind because they are this online community of millions of crafters and DIY enthusiasts and creatives just like you, and they are honing their skills. They're learning new things. They're learning from the masters. They are able to talk amongst themselves. They work really hard on Craftsy to create this amazing community. Craftsy offers over 2,000 online courses, and I'm a big fan of online courses. I have created them. I have benefited from them. They are such a fun way to grow in your knowledge. It's such an amazing time in history to have access to these types of things. They cover, I would say, 20 different broad categories. So there's cake decorating, there's woodworking. I mean, they show you how to make new cabinet fronts for your kitchen cabinets. Things like that, how to make drawers, amazing woodworking ideas in there. There's gardening and photography, there's dance, there's writing, there's crocheting, there's upholstery, there's all kinds of sewing information and quilting and cooking and painting, and it feels like anything creative that you would want to learn about, they've collected the best information. And you can go online, you can go on Pinterest and you can find tutorials on how to do things, but Craftsy has done all of that vetting, and they've pulled really good teachers together, and there's standards that they try to follow. And so you're getting quick, really good information, and these classes are broken down into step-by-step, easy to follow directions. I'm especially wanting to do more of embroidery, and I've always had a thing for cake decorating. I mean, since I was a newlywed, I've been interested in cake decorating. I'm still not very good at it, but I continue to dabble in it. And I don't know if you heard, but we're having a wedding in the Phillips household this summer. And so I'm in charge of the big bridal shower. I think we're having like 60 guests come over in June. I'll share some of it with you. But I was just nosing around Craftsy for ideas to make macarons and really great cookie decorating classes that I could take on there, and beautiful cupcakes. And I'm gonna have so much fun getting inspiration off Craftsy for that bridal shower. As I was looking into some of the party planning classes, one of my friends popped up. Her name's Kristen Johnson. She is so good at doing inexpensive, amazing party decorations. I met her at a blogging conference a few years back, and here she is. She's on Craftsy. I was so proud of her. Anything by Kristen Johnson is good, and I suspect that that's the standard that all of their teachers have. I hope you're as excited as I am about this resource that's available to us. Craftsy is offering us a really sweet deal right now. For the first 1,000 signups on my link below, you will get a 1-year membership, a premium membership for $1.49. Amazing. This is valid for new members only, but I hope you try it out. Let me know what skills and crafting techniques that you want to learn about this year. That's a 1-year premium membership for only $1.49. You can scan the QR code here or click on the link in the description below. All right, let's move on to number 2 and see how my cast iron refinishing the tub has held up. Number 2 would be our tub. So we inherited this cast iron tub. We refinished it once. I don't think we used a good product. You can see how badly it's peeling here. And we finally decided, okay, we're gonna bite the bullet. It took us all day. We refinished this tub ourselves. And the first thing you have to do is you have to get down to the actual cast iron. We tried a bunch of different ways to scrape off that first finishing coat we had, and eventually did get it all done. And then we used this kit. I think it was $150. It was on Amazon. Basically, if you can mix hair dye and you can dye your hair, you can mix this product up. And then it's pretty cool how you pour it. It takes a long time. Colby spent, I think, 4 hours doing this step where you pour this glaze and let the gravity pull it down, slowly covering the sides, and then all the way across the bottom. You just keep pouring, you keep getting the excess and keep pouring it and let it drip. You can use the roller just a little bit, but it's a lot of just continuing to get the excess and dripping it over the sides and the bottom. And this is how it looked. I think it dried for 24 hours. Love it. 10 out of 10. Then number 3, we had gotten a $150 mantle off of Craigslist, and it was very Tuscany, and so we took off all these corbel, big clunky details that were on it and just made a basic mantle. And that was an improvement. It was painted white, and we got a $300 electric fireplace that we added in it. Then as time went on, I kept getting more vision for it. We added some trim, some balusters that you would put on a kitchen island, and this darling wreath. It totally makes me think of our logo. I got the wooden wreath off of Etsy, and so we added that. That's faux marble contact paper, and painted it all. This one I would give a 10 out of 10 as well. I think it's a really economical way to go if you want just a freestanding fireplace and mantle. I would love to eventually do a gas fireplace, but it has been great. The number 4 would be these renter-friendly windows, we're gonna say. We have vinyl windows. I got nervous when I started researching it, and I thought there is no way we're gonna paint these vinyl windows. And so I did some paintable wallpaper. I cut out the strips and covered my vinyl windows, then painted the paintable wallpaper. For the muntins, the crossbars, I cut little strips of wood that I painted and then added to the windows with a little bit of clear caulk. Okay, this is what I would say about this project. Number one, it took forever. We have 5 windows in our living room, and this project literally took me 30 hours. I laid down on the floor and wanted to cry when it was all over. Now, I love how it looks, and it is technically all temporary. I can pull all of this off, and it will be back to the white vinyl. But the other day we had a window expert in our house, and he told us that the vinyl is not going to be able to breathe correctly since we did that, and we probably have ruined our windows. So now I don't know what to think. We're a little nervous. I think I would want to talk to someone else on that, but I'm gonna have to give this one a 7 out of 10 just because of how time consuming it was and the fact that maybe we might have damaged our windows. Okay, number 5 would be our sink vanities. So both of our bathrooms have sink vanities made out of something that's antique and gorgeous. Now, one thing that you're gonna have to figure out is that you're gonna need a backsplash. So we just took a piece of wood, but we put a piece of wood on this one. Downstairs has a piece of marble and then sealed it to match the countertop. There's a lot of, so you have to cut a hole for the sink. You have to cut a hole for the pipes, several of them. Then you have to figure out the drawers. The drawers themselves have to be cut. I actually decided that I think it's best to actually just make the drawer shorter instead of cut it into sort of a horseshoe shape. But once you get all of that put back together, it is gorgeous. The one thing though that I have to warn you on is that the drop-in sinks are way better because inevitably your faucet's gonna give out, and to change out the faucet, it's way easier to just lift the drop-in sink to lift it out and then switch out the faucet. Also, if you love interior design and you are a Christian or you are interested in knowing more about God and you want to grow in your knowledge of Scripture and all that He has for us, I have a group called Behind the Scenes that is open right now. I only open it 4 times a year for about 4 days. So with this tiny little window that we're in where I'm taking new members, we have about 150 women in it right now. And we've had I think close to 700 women that have gone through the whole program. But we meet on Thursdays via Zoom. It is really, I think my favorite part of my job is doing the behind the scenes group. We meet for 1 hour every week and we just have a blast. We have a really great group, and I will give you the link in the description below if you are thinking, oh my gosh, I want to be part of this community. And you can learn a lot more about it before you make a decision, but it's a monthly subscription. And if you can't make it to class, we send out a recording. A lot of women watch the recording. I say it's where decorating and discipleship meet. So it's a very unique group and it's very close to my heart. And I've really gotten to know a lot of these women in real life and just adore them. I mean, they're just some of the best people out there. So if that is the perfect thing in your mind of what you're looking for, join us. We're gonna close the doors on Monday night. So sign up and try it out. At least try it for a month. You can cancel anytime if it doesn't work out for you, but you are invited. Number 6 would be a washable stair runner, and I do get a lot of questions about this. I ended up ordering ruggable rugs. So these are washable rugs. It's a 2-part system. So there's a pad that has a Velcro side to it. And then there's a very thin, almost feels like a blanket. And that's the actual rug part. And then you can peel that off and wash it. So I ordered a bunch of 2x3 rugs. And then I got some brass bars and these little brackets to cover up the seams actually. So we just nailed down the actual pad onto the stairs and rolled our carpets down and then covered the seams with those bars. And then I haven't needed to do it more than once a year, but I'm really glad I can when I need to do this. I open up those bars and wash the rugs. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. But the only thing I wish I would have different is that I would have not bought real bars, the rods. I think I could have DIY'd those. Number 7 is my gilded coffee table. Okay, I recommend gilding at least one piece of accent furniture in your lifetime. This is a bamboo table that I found on Facebook Marketplace, and I had been eyeing other gilded bamboo pieces just in magazines. I knew that I wanted to change it up as soon as I bought the table. So to gild, you're going to put this glue on. It's called size. And then you take these sheets of gold. Now, the French used to use real thin sheets of gold. Of course, I don't use real gold. But you lay it on top of this size, and it creates a coating on whatever you want to turn gold. In fact, the French used to either gild things or they would use brass. Those were their two methods of choice for having things that were gold. You can do a little frame or something, but an entire piece of furniture is pretty gorgeous. I'm very happy with this DIY. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. And actually, in our summer decor boxes, I'm going to have one of the DIYs is going to be a gilding project. So I'm excited to get that out for you in the next couple of months. But to finish it off, I felt like it was a little bright when we first finished it. So I touched it up with some dark antiquing wax, and I really like it. Okay, number 8. I love showing people my beadboard wallpaper whenever I'm giving a tour of the house, and I actually have them touch the wallpaper because it's so amazing how believable it is. And there I always get oohs and ahs, like, oh my gosh, I totally would have thought that this was actual beadboard. But it is a 3D wallpaper. You can feel it. It's 3D, and then it feels kind of like a sheet of foam that you put on the wall, and then you paint it. So you are touching paint. It's not as durable as true MDF beadboard, or of course tongue and groove beadboard. So you wouldn't want it probably in a kid's space. I wouldn't use it as a backsplash in a kitchen. But all in all, I give it a 10 out of 10. It's really holding up, and I just think it's a classic and very inexpensive option. Can I possibly love a project more? This is our concrete table. I'm giving this a 14 out of 10. I'm so happy with this project. I had a free table given to me, and the veneer, I was going to rip it all off and replace it, and I could not save it. So we just said, if you can't beat them, you join them. We just got a piece of plywood and our trusty 1x2s and made this faux tabletop. And then, the angels sing. Ardex Feather Finish. It's one of my favorite products. You mix it with water and you make this paste, and anything that you spread it over looks like concrete. So it looks like a slab of concrete. This is my husband's desk. We took the dining room table and turned it into his desk, and I adore the desk. Number 10, this is a DIY that I get questions on more than any other thing that I have done, I think. It's these recliners. So we wanted to have leather recliners, but I couldn't find old looking leather recliners. So I took shoe polish and I tried to age the leather. And actually at first it did look really good. I even took Rub and Buff and I changed the upholstery tacks. I painted each one. We added casters. I wanted them to look like an old worn in saddle or something. And I'm gonna say a 7, honestly. It's not that the chairs haven't held up. They are doing just fine. They're doing too fine. I feel like they're perfect
They look too brand new. The shoe polish has worn off where everybody's sitting. The side still looks pretty good. I feel like it's aged, but I almost want to take sandpaper to this just a little bit and come back in with that leather dye. I don't know if you saw my last video, but I stained some leather gloves, and so I thought about using that stain on here to get a little bit more aging, but that's the only thing I would say it differently.
All right, I hope that this information was really helpful to you. I'm gonna link all of the different tutorials that we went through today in case you really wanna hone in and repeat any of these things that I've shown you today. And I just love the whole world of DIY. I think it's so empowering, and it helps you just close the gap on these custom ideas that you have or budget constraints that you're dealing with. DIY is so much fun, and I hope that you see it as fun and that it's okay to make a mistake, and it's okay to learn and try new products, and just on the off chance that it's gonna work, because honestly most of the time it does work. And if not, then you learned and you can pivot and you didn't waste a ton of money because it's DIY. So I love it. It's such a wonderful world to get into. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope good things happen to you this week, and that you remember that God loves you and that He is for you and He has good in your future for you. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for watching to the end. Join us by subscribing if you aren't already, so we can get together again next week. And as always, take care. I will talk to you soon.